You are one of the women power leaders that we look up to today as an inspiration, as a motivation for so many women out there.
There's so many government entities that are kind of opened up for women entrepreneurs. When you start so young, you don't have that maturity. I had a great boss, a great mentor. I just feel more at home with women around me. They're more reliable, they're more dependable, they take more initiative. They want to break the glass ceiling. The thinking was set straight from day one. We need to make things accessible. Life's not going to be linear. It's going to be all ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Do not give up. Do not forget self-love. Roll your sleeves. Get it done.
Welcome to Women of Wonder by Reema Mahajan, or WOW Women as we lovingly call it. I'm your host Reema, and this is our initiative to bring to you stories of empowered and ambitious women so that we can all take inspiration from them. My guest today is one of the Global 200 power leaders in marketing and communication from the UAE in 2023. As the head of marketing and communications at Meydan Free Zone, Anisha has revolutionized the marketing strategies of the company. Her leadership in Meydan Free Zone has significantly contributed to Dubai's global business presence. Welcome to the podcast, Anisha.
Thank you,
Lovely
Reema.
to have you here.
Thank you so much.
I am very excited to host you today because you are one of the women power leaders that we look up to today as an inspiration, as a motivation for so many women out there. I would love to kick off by debunking some misconceptions about women in business. My first misconception is it's too challenging for women to start a business in the UAE.
Absolutely not. I think UAE is one of very few countries that actually believe in equality and the norms, what the government has done here for the women empowerment. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, UAE stands at the 15th most empowered country in the world for women. Starting up a business for anybody as such, not just for women, is extremely easy. Some of the attributes that contribute to that is one, the ease of kind of just going in there and opening up a trade license. It's with free zone, 100% ownership. The second is, in fact, the banking, right? The whole value chain, right? Whether you look at banking, whether you look at funding, in fact, how the government kind of helps with that. We all know the ease of laws, the visa regulations, the residency regulations, and I would say just the safety of this country. Like even for a woman who would want to kind of be alone here and, raise up her empire, I think, the government has kind of just made it so secure for people like you and me to kind of establish not just their businesses, but, entire lives out here and, do so well for themselves.
Absolutely agree, and especially the security part of it. I don't think any country in the world matches what we have. We have the Dubai jokes that leave a phone in the middle of the mall and you will get it back even if you come after 2 hours. So that's Dubai for us. I think it's a very commonly known misconception, I would say, that women lack access to funding and resources. What's your take on that?
I would not say that women in general lack funding or resources, but I think that access to such funds or VC funds is just at about 12% for women. And it is a global thing, right? But however, if you look at UAE, right, I mean, like I said, it is a land of equality. A man going into a bank, right, and asking for a loan versus a woman going in there. I think Dubai is one of those rare places. It's much easier to kind of, get that backing, whether it's from government. For example, you have your Dubai Women's Business Council, right? You go to any of that. There's so many government entities that are kind of opened up for women entrepreneurs. So I think that's just a myth in terms of that, funding is not available, at least in the UAE segment for women. I think it's very easy as it is for a man to kind of just go and get that funding.
I think that's really encouraging and really promising. I'll move on to one more question related to this. Maybe it's a myth, according to me, that women can exceed in only certain industries. Now, as a business setup person, I'm sure you support one number of industries. So what trends have you seen around it?
Look at, any successful venture around you. Look at banking. Fab, the CEO is an Emirati woman. Look at the entertainer, a British woman. And famously, there has been, I think she's back into the business. We all know Donna exited from the business. It was quite a high profile exit. And she's been called back to run the organization just to kind of show that, women, kind of know better how to run a business because they are multifaceted. And I think somewhere, that balance of emotions and power and knowledge and that integrity kind of plays into how a woman kind of handles a business versus a man. I mean, it's not a man versus a woman debate at all. But I think in terms of industries, I think women are as good, as empowered. You see, UAE, in fact, constitutes by 2025, the regulation is that 31% of Emirati women would constitute the constituencies of the government entities.
Wow.
So that's how empowered they are. You look at all our women leaders, right? Whether it is in politics, it is in finance. You look at real estate. You look at entertainment, right? Some of your guests, in fact, Rima, as well. Like these are all empowered women. All reside in UAE. What better opportunity than UAE themselves or Dubai themselves? It's women force to come up in life. I think we are very blessed and lucky to be in this country, I would say.
I agree. And I think it's great to have more and more women leaders coming up because that encourages the rest of the community and the rest of the women force. So it's great to have leaders like you at the top because I'm sure you can hire more women and they look up to you every day. But how is she managing work and household? So moving on to the next misconception. Can women manage it all? Can they manage their household work? And can they turn up at work every day?
100%.
Why do you say that?
Because look at a household. What is a household, right? It is exactly like an organization. You run your household like an organization. You do your procurements. You kind of divide your time between your kids, your husband, your family, right? Things that you do to kind of, I would say self-love, right? So you know how to compartmentalize. At the very soul of it, I think it is also the fact that women know how to kind of endure it for love, right? But that is on the household level. So if we are attuned to it on a hormonal level or a DNA level, what stops us from kind of bringing that into our business front? So for me, my child was just a year and a half when I got into work mode, right? I started my career. And I think I was blessed to kind of be in that scenario where it was very easy for me to balance because I was in this country. Why I would say that is that, firstly, the government makes it very easy for us to, whether it's, your commute, the job scenario, the equal pay, right? Whether it is a gender equality. I think UAE is unique again in that situation. Had I been in any other country, life would have been tougher. So UAE, yes, it definitely empowers women and it creates that balance where women can, have a great work-life balance.
That's beautiful. And I think that's really, really encouraging for us. But I have a question going back to that. You told me you started work at 21 years of age,
Yes.
right? In your career through the years, have you found the community and the network for women? Do you think women today lack the community support, the network for them to grow?
No.
Why do you say that?
Going back to my first job, I worked with an organization called International Marketing Communications. I was one of the first employees to be hired there as an intern. I lasted there for 13 years.
Lasted? You triumphed there.
I think it was quite a challenge because, when you start so young, you don't have that maturity. And I had a great boss, a great mentor. Till date, I always mention about him that I am who I am today because of that mentorship that I received at a very young age. The beauty about that job was, Rima, you would be surprised that we were 21 women hired.
Wow.
It was an all-women organization run by a gentleman. And till date, I go visit them. And I have friends out there today who have been with the organization now for 17 years. Early on, that kind of environment, which, was very healthy. It kind of was very pro-women, right? It created that synergy where wherever I've been after that and wherever I've been in that leadership position, my main aim or my goal was to kind of, take those ethics back into the next jobs. And you would see that 80% of the workforce that I hire or I am working with and my team is generally comprised of women.
It's a culture you drive, right? It's how you drive the values in the
I
organization and
just
the
feel
culture you
more at
build.
home with women around me, because, like I said, it's very wholesome. I wouldn't. I would be short of words of how to kind of put that into, like, or explain you, but they're more reliable, they're more dependable, they take more initiatives, they want to break the glass ceiling, right? They're full of ideas, that they're out of box. Not that men are not, but I think women in general, they are very responsive on a very different level, right? They feel like we say that women has
We
we've
have
got
more
very strong
emotions, yeah.
and strong sixth sense.
Yes.
I think that comes out of those women, and what they put back into their work, it's commendable. I enjoy working with women.
And I think women give more than 100% at everything they do, right? So
100%.
that's a part of it.
Yes.
Well, it's been lovely getting to debunk some of these misconceptions. I'd love to move on to your current role now. You head the marketing and communications at Meydan Free Zone, and you have been launching some revolutionizing marketing strategies to build the business. Tell us more about them.
When Meydan Free Zone came along the way 2 years ago, again, a fantastic opportunity. Again, I found a new mentor here. Completely shattered the way jurisdictions have worked in the past, right? You go to any free zone or you go to any jurisdiction in terms of licensing department, right? Firstly, it is cumbersome. The government has made those laws of 100%, ownership, and the price was you get a license for 5,000 dirhams, you get a license all the way to 40,000 dirhams, 50,000 dirhams.
Yes.
What changed for me is the way the thinking was kind of established when Meydan Free Zone laws or regulations came into existence.
Okay.
Because the primary goal of Meydan Free Zone is, how do we make entrepreneurship accessible?
Beautiful.
How do we make it easy for anybody, right? You could have a 60-year-old who are not very tech savvy, or you could have a 28-year-old who's extremely tech savvy, is into the world of AI. Now you are dealing with probably 3 generations apart when it comes to technology. Meydan Free Zone is the only free zone globally that is 100% digital.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's paperless environment. We went with the government's initiative of 2020, where Dubai government entities were announced as paperless environment. So we went one step ahead. We are not just a paperless environment, but we are 100% digital. Now, that is just on the tech front. We are a platform.
Yeah.
Right? But kind of, taking that thinking forward. Now, you are an entrepreneur yourself, right? Let's say when you started your business, we looked at every single niche groups. Their entrepreneurship journey is very different, and how we can, as Meydan Free Zone, how we can kind of impact entrepreneurship where we make it accessible for you to do business in Dubai. What I mean by that is, for example, let's say you are an e-commerce business, right? And you've just got a trade license from us, and we've helped you with banking, and we've helped you with the visa processes and all of that. Where we kind of stand apart is that we have looked at every single touch point you would go through as an entrepreneur. We know for a fact that you would be looking out for your work sims. We know that you would be looking out for hardware and software for your business. We know that you'd be looking out for your warehouses, for example. We know that the value chain for you means that you don't want to be bothered about how your product is going to kind of come here. How are you going to, register your product? So we went ahead on behalf of you and partnered with all of these government entities to kind of, create that value system where you can come onto our portal. You do not have to go to these third-party government entities, but in fact, get it done online on our portal, right from your banking to applying for any third-party approvals, getting your warehousing sorted, getting, for example, your freights and logistics sorted out, getting your entire value chain sorted out. So I think that is a product that distinguishes itself from the other jurisdictions that we have out here.
You mean to say I can do all of this online?
Yes.
Everything online?
Everything
without
on our
a single
platform.
paperwork?
Yes.
Well, that's brilliant. And I must congratulate you and your team because this is the first time I'm hearing it. Usually, getting a license involves either multiple chakkars of the PRO office, and you will end up involving a PRO in between because, I don't have the time to go and sit in an office for like hours, right? So if you are saving my time, giving me, and everybody's tech savvy in a way, I can do all the paperwork online. I know where my paperwork is. I know where my Emirates ID is, right? It's brilliant.
Thank you.
But what are the challenges you faced while doing this?
I wouldn't say a challenge, but I would say just that we went and dissected what are the best licenses that people are looking at. Kind of e-commerce became an household thing as soon as COVID hit, right? But so did the delivery industry, so did the marketing industry. Today, the norm is all about digital marketing. So we looked at different niche, and then we looked at what each of them would require in terms of a value chain to kind of, go down and drill down to that grassroots level, and then kind of, create a value chain and create a product around it, right? That itself was, sheer lot of work. But I think we have been successful that, I would say we've got some great team players out here, not just from the marketing team, but overall operationally as well. The thinking is very different because the thinking was set straight from day one that we only have one aim. We need to make things accessible. So, in fact, I'd be very happy to tell you that now we are operational 24/7.
Oh, brilliant.
What I mean by that is, yes, we are online, we are a platform, but you can come down to Meydan Free Zone at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you would have the same experience that you would have at 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, that's brilliant. So usually when we think of government entities, it's 8 to 5 p.m., right? And then everybody disappears. But this is a government entity and it's open 24/7.
Yes.
Kudos to you and your team. Brilliant.
Thank you.
There are different free zones focused on different types of sectors. Does Meydan specialize in certain areas? Like GMCC is more commodities, DFC is more finance related, right?
At Meydan, we serve at approximately 2,800 business activities. So we are not an industrial free zone. We are not just a service-oriented free zone. In fact, we're not even a real estate-based free zone.
Right.
So entrepreneurs who are looking at varied interests, whether it is industrial, whether it is trading, or whether it's a service industry like your management consultancy or your marketing, we pack it all for everyone.
That's really important for our community, especially Indian women in Dubai, right? Because we have more than 5,000 women entrepreneurs on the community. A lot of them are still figuring out which license to get. Where do I go? How do I get a visa? All of that, those questions are really important for the women out there. And they do a variety from service to real estate to actually, warehouse type businesses. I'm going to move on to my favorite round now. It's called Direct Dil Se.
Okay.
We call it the rapid fire round. I call it Direct Dil Se because I want to know the other side of Anisha. And these are more fun questions getting to know you. We have a brilliant hamper here. Not drawing the idea from Coffee by Karan at all. But you have to win this hamper. So you have to tell us all your answers, honestly, Direct Dil Se.
Sure.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
All right. What's your go-to source for business inspiration?
So I would say my dad. He has been in business for past, I would say about 50 years in UAE. Whatever we've kind of grown and learned up, I look up to.
What's the most important trait for a very successful businesswoman like you?
Resilience. Life's not going to be linear. It's going to be all ups and downs, but it's all about conviction in yourself. Do not give up, right? Do not forget self-love. I would say you would get a lot of opportunities where you would be pushed in a corner, but then life throws you in a corner. That's fine, right? It's absolutely okay. But it is up to us as women that we need to get out of that corner and we need to show, we need to kind of throw some punches. So I think it is all about resilience and do not give up.
What's your favorite tool or app for business management?
I would say one of the tools that I would like to kind of go to is Trello. Makes life simple. Team management simple. Couple of them, you could say Asana is there, and then you've got ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is beautiful. helps content creators like us.
Yes. Makes our lives easy.
When you get a business idea, what's the first thing you do?
So I am well known, in fact, Reema, that I don't sleep.
Okay.
But that is also problematic because if I get an idea, I am an excited soul. I would just want to implement it then and there. A lot of my team members bear the brunt of it. But then I've got people on my side who don't mind it. But I would just pick up my phone or WhatsApp and I say, this is what the idea is. I'm not one of those people who's got patience to kind of, take it down on a diary and write it down and go revisit it in the morning. There is no second thoughts. You just get at it. So I am somebody who believes in action first. So for me, it is instant. I need to and the first person rather to get at it is mostly it would be my, Sangeeta, who is she's my assistant marketing manager. So she gets all of it.
Well, kudos to Sangeeta. Sangeeta, if you're watching this episode, I think you are a rock star there. I would leave a WhatsApp message in like 10:30 in the night and like, whenever you see it tomorrow morning.
10:30 is early. 10:30 is early.
No, I sleep through in the night. So I have my 7 hours of sleep. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, 10:30 I would leave. 10:30 is like my thinking time. So because the house is quiet, the kids are in bed. So that's when I get all these things done. So my team gets a lot of messages at 10 in the night. Okay, how do you like to meet people? Do you like coffee meetups or would you just rather Zoom and give a call?
Zoom and give a call.
Quick and efficient?
Not quick, but efficient, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you kind of pack in a lot in that shorter time.
Yes.
So for me, that convenience needs to be there. I mostly work out of home. And that is not because, yes, COVID has kind of, spoiled all of us. Yes. But I think one of the beautiful things that has come, which is hybrid work model. Again, a great example, right? Government entity, a jurisdiction, Meydan Free Zone. Me being one of the leaders, of marketing here with Meydan Free Zone. But my organization gives me that enough leg room to kind of be creative. And if that process requires me to kind of have that freedom to work from home or hybrid, that is encouraged.
Yes.
So I'm blessed to kind of, be working with the leaders that I am at Meydan. This kind of, the hybrid model allows me to kind of pack in a lot of things and for, to make the most, get most out of my 11 to 12 hours of work, I would say. I mean, I'm a workaholic.
Yeah, we know that. I can judge that. So, by your brilliant career and moves over time, I can judge that.
So it's not about when I get that idea. It is about how soon can I implement it.
Right.
So that is important for me.
Would you consider yourself as a doer of things or more like the big picture?
Doer. Roll your sleeves, get it done. Get it sorted.
What's a book that you would tell every woman to read to get inspired?
The Fountainhead. And my second favorite book is Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Why? Because the theory of objectivism was defined by her. Okay. And that is one of the few books, Reema, that I have stuck onto, and I would have read that probably 19 to 20 times. Every single time that I feel that I've lost weight, I feel uninspired, all it takes is 2 days off work completely, go to a beach, just be by myself, read my book again, and that's about it. It will snap me out of it.
That's beautiful.
It is one of those books which kind of even developed my early on personality, I would say. Okay. At an age of 15, I was introduced to these brilliant books, brilliant author, and that kind of changed my life forever.
I have to go and read these books. I haven't read them, but I will look up the author. Yeah,
big books.
उनका summary आता होगा.
Maybe.
कहीं तो आता होगा 15-minute headway app.
But what I would recommend is, why don't you look at the audiobook? I don't know if that's available, but I am a voracious reader. I have a big library at home. And I'm a voracious reader.
You're not the Kindle generation. You're like the old.
Yeah, I read all sorts. As long as it's a good book, I can open and I can read it and I can finish it.
One piece of advice you'd give to any woman who's looking to start her first business, taking that first step is sometimes the hardest. Moving out of home and especially with women with kids, leaving their kids behind is very hard. And I talk to women every day, so they tell me this, mere bacche chote hain, I have little kids, or my husband is not at home, I don't have family here. Women can come up with excuses, right? At sometimes. What's the advice you have for these women who are talented, capable, but not taking that step?
Very simple, Reema. It's absolutely simple. Live a little for yourself. And in that little, It's okay to jump off the cliff. Till you don't jump, you're not going to fly. The minute you fly, you would be able to kind of, bring in people who you love, right, under your wings. So imagine as a mother, do not limit your thought process that what if I wake up, I don't wake up, I'm unwell. What is my child going to eat? What is he going to have for lunch? What is she going to have for breakfast? When she comes back from school, how are they going to manage the day to day? You are looking at a shorter picture. You need to look at the bigger picture. What can I leave in terms of legacy for my child to have a brilliant tomorrow? And if that means that it comes from you working, making a career out of yourself, or doing your own business, but just going for it, right? And you will be brilliant at it. Why have that self doubt, right? In your own little world, you are going to be successful, right? So when you do that and you are creating that legacy for your children to carry forward. So it's simple, Rima, right? Where I would just say that just go ahead, just do it. Like it's as simple as that. Just do it.
Just do it. And on that, I'm going to just do my first thing. Here's a beautiful hamper for you from Indian Women in Dubai for winning the coffee with Karan. And I hope you enjoy the little pampering and self-care and me time with this.
Thank you so much.
Just do it is the message from our guest, the wonderful Anisha Sagar today. We had a brilliant conversation about women starting their own businesses, about the Meydan Free Zone and how it empowers all the businesses around in Dubai. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe and share this. And we'll be back with another Women of Wonder very, very soon. Namaste.